What's up, Porsche people? I feel like it's been a while, because it has. I've been cheating on you with the Chevy people and messing with too much BMW stuff. So I figure it's about time I get back to my roots. This is how my channel got started. I'm messing around with my sapphire blue GT3 in the garage, and I wanna get back to just driving this car almost exclusively, and doing maintenance and tweaks and playing with the suspension and doing all the things that I do that probably make the car worse. But anyway, I'm gonna change the oil here today, and the reason why I decided to make a video, I was listening to Joe Rogan podcast, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, I really don't want to get the camera out. But then I started searching for oil capacity. I couldn't remember how many quarts it takes. Sure enough, can't find any videos on or any information on a .2, which is pretty much the same thing. But I figured, well, I'm the guy. Why don't I make the video and fumble through it like the everyman? And I've done it more than the average guy because this is my fifth Porsche. So I think it makes sense to. I think it's fifth. .1 Carrera S, .1 GT3, .1 RS, no, fourth Porsche, yeah, .2 RS, 718 GT4 will be my fifth. So oil change is pretty much the same for all of them, but maybe I'll chat you up and tell you something you never knew about me, and give you some fuel to tell me I'm an idiot. So 6 quarts is what I'm going to put in. These darn things have the worst. Actually, no, BMW's worse. The second worst oil digital dipstick on the frickin' planet. It calls for like 6.76 quarts of oil. Watch it. I'm going to put 6 in, and I'll still get an overfill light. So it's just terribly inaccurate, terribly useless. You won't even be able to check it here today. I'll have to drive. Sometimes you have to drive 50 miles. Sometimes you drive 2 miles. There's all kinds of contingencies for the thing to not work. And so just put 6 in, drive around for a little bit, see where it's at. You really want it to be about 3/4 full. Or 3/4, not 3/4 full, 3/4 of the way between the fill lines. Sorry, 3/4 of a full, that's a bad idea. So you want to go, fill line is about a quart from top to bottom, and so it's about 3/4 of a quart is where you want that to be. But if you go too much, then it doesn't frickin' work. So pretty much the standard is to go to suncoastporscheparts.com. For me, they're in Florida, so it usually gets here in a day. I usually keep a filter on hand, but you need a 9A1 107 203.91. So if you have a if you have a 901.1 GT3, I think it's late 2015. I think so. There's E, F, and G. I think it's when the G series engines came out. They changed the oil filter, and certainly the RS. So what happened is I had a whole stockpile of oil filters from my Sapphire Blue 2014, and then I got a 2016 RS, dumped the oil. Sure enough, I didn't have the right size oil filter. The thread is different. The opening is a little bit fatter. I think this is the right one. I hope it's the right one. So we'll find out. If not, the car will be sitting here oilless for a little while. So we need that. And then I think I have an extra one in here. I'm not sure. But you buy the kit and you get some fill plugs. The procedure calls for a change in these. A couple of different plugs, a couple of different crush washers. And I don't think, yeah, you're right. There are three plugs. Once I get in there, it'll all come back to me, but it's been so long since I've changed the oil. That's all I really need. It's just that. So let's pop the rear deck, and let's get the car up in the air and get some lighting under there so you can see what I'm doing. We have to remove the plate, and we'll get the car done. All right, let's pop it, open it. We're about to have a whole monster series of correction protection on this thing coming up here. I'm starting to catch the bug, the detailing bug. I'm going to do this car all by myself, just therapeutically, get it all set up and dialed in. So the new cars, the new GT3, the latest one, the 19s, the GT3 and RS, they don't have a like, what do you call that thing? The piston thing, whatever you call it. It's not coming to me. This one has a latch, like a plastic latch that you have to lift, push down in order to disengage it, but it pops in place. I think that saves a few grams of weight, so that's why they do that. And then we want to take off, let me get some shop tiles here. We want to take off the fill cap. Might be making that up, but I'm pretty sure it helps us out with draining. So I want to take this off. I recently just cleaned the air filters. I just rolled over 2,000 miles. Normally I'll change it at 1,000, and I planned on changing it right away. I got the car with like 1,500 miles on it, or 1,400 miles on it is when I bought this used. I just didn't get it done. I've been slacking on you. I've been gallivanting around in a janky Corvette. Not one of my finer decisions. So let's just set this aside. And so I just haven't changed the oil, but normally I'll change it at 1,000. I don't follow any particular break-in procedure. I just drive it, get it. Like when I get my GT4, I'm just gonna get it and drive it. I think that's the owner's manual calls for 2,000 miles. I'm not freaking doing that. You've lost your mind. Some of the cars I won't even have for 2,000 miles. I always like to put it a little in the air. So make sure we're good. I'll show you at the end. I'll show you the Smokin' GTS on Renlist makes the pucks. It's a Delrin puck that goes in. It's like there's like a half oblong circle, like long elongated oval that goes up in. You turn it and it sits. It sits in the jack point area, and it works really well on the lift, especially. He made me a taller set. Hopefully he'll comment in the video. Usually he checks out the Porsche stuff anyway, and he makes them, you know, for people all the time. I think he's still doing it. Okay, we need to take our plate off, and I want to check out my exhaust, make sure everything's tight. I'm gonna check all the bolts. We're gonna check that out, make sure everything's good, because I made my own little modification there, which isn't recommended. And so this, I think I need a T27 for all of these bolts that hold on this plastic plate. This is one of the things that got me, was these little air guides, and I'll show you in a minute the carbon fiber sway bar. When I was doing my friend Adam LZ's car, when we were detailing it, I was like, man, I need to get a dot too. Just little tweaks, little things that get you, that make me want it. Okay, let me get some lights and get set up here. So these are a couple of lights that I'm testing out. They don't have as high end of a LED as the line lights that I use. If you're new here, let me show you what a line light is. So this is the line light R, but these little lights are freaking incredible. It has a flashlight on the top, so it has a top light, and then it has the other light here. The LEDs on this are higher CRI, higher quality. These aren't as high of quality, but I think they're gonna do. They're pretty nice for working on the car. I find myself grabbing these even more often than the line lights recently. So I think I'm gonna get these in the store here soon. So we'll have those set up, and then we'll do a line light as well. Get some light going. I'm gonna be changing my lift here soon to a Nussbaum. The Nussbaum stuff is like best in class, and also gets me up to 78 inches on their 7,000 pound scissor. This one is doesn't get me up quite high enough. I'm just a little bit too tall. Okay, so T27, yeah, was correct. So there's like a 20 of these things that hold this thing on. So I'm gonna remove all of these. So yeah, as soon as I catch up here at all these projects that I have in my head, out of my head and into the world, then I'm going to get myself acclimated with the Nussbaum product, swap it out, and we're going to start offering those here in the US or at Obsessed Garage, in the US, I should say. Okay, got one more in the center. Just set these right here. Oh shoot, I've got a cart now. Forgot about that. Tool cart. You guys have been yelling at me for this for years. Got a Sonic rolling cart. Why don't I go get all my oil and stuff and put it on here? That's a better way to do it. Look at this. I'm like a regular old grown-up. I've got more room now. The reason why I never bought one is I didn't have room to do it. Now I've got plenty of room because I moved into the other side of the building. Got my little parts, magnetic parts tray. Set that there. Now, don't let it drop. Normally it stays in. You have to yank it off. Don't let it hit you in the head. I told you there'd be plenty of stuff for you to make fun of. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So let me bring my oil drain pan. Having one of these things change your darn life. Makes it so much better than trying to dump it into some, laying on your back doing it, dumping it into a little container on the ground. So this here is a twin bush extractor, which of course I've never used the darn extraction part. I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you at the end here. This is a little tricky because we got a filter and 3 bolts to deal with. So I always dump this one first. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but that's what I do. So let's bring this up a little bit. Make sure our tank is open. I think it's a 7mm. So yeah, like I was saying, I'm not trying to be difficult. No, it's an 8. But when I buy these cars, I'm just gonna drive it. So anyway, when I say that I buy this car and I just drive it, and I'm not super aggressive anyway, but I'm not particularly interested in buying a car and letting it sit. And I drive them quite a bit. I drive cars a lot more than people think I do. I just don't have a lot of mileage to put on because I got 5 of them. And I live a mile from my house. My garage is a mile from my house. Ugh. Shot it all over the floor. Don't do that. That's a common concern for people. Is what do you do when you get it all over the Swiss tracks? Well, what I do is I just clean it up. It always seems like a whole lot more than 6 quarts. Yeah, I can't remember. Is it easier? Should I dump the reservoir, the backup tank? Thinking it might be smarter to dump the main spot first. But we have enough room to make it fill here, so I'm going to take the front and back bolts out. I think they're the same size. So that one was an 8mm. This one must be a 10. And then these go on, I think it's 22 foot-pounds. Yeah, 10mm. I think it's 22 foot-pounds for the reserve and then 30 foot-pounds for the main spot. The last oil change, I had everybody yelling at me because they thought I'd tighten the, it looked like I was tightening the oil filter too much. And people are losing their crap. Just because I was kind of turning and feeling it out. It's like, I think I got this. This isn't rocket science. I think I'm doing it okay. Yeah, don't get oil everywhere. I got it all over my shorts and everything. All right, so we'll let that drain for a bit. And we'll come back to you. So again, you can see it coming from this bolt here, that one there. And again, they provided us with 1, 2, 3 replacements. So let's check all of our positions on our exhaust. Yeah, everything looks good. Tips, everything looks solid. Our connection point here, of course these are factory headers. I want to do the Dundon at some point. I've been really enjoying the AWE. Really simple bypass exhaust. Bypasses the side mufflers, but you retain the cats. So no center, no side muffler. It's a really great option for $2,800. You know, lots of exhausts on this car get really expensive. And so what I didn't do, this connection point here, I've left it disconnected from the H bracket. And I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any, what looked to be any issue. It's not drooping or anything. Everything's nice and tight. So the AccuSeal clamps are holding everything down. And it's really not a lot of weight. You know, one of the risks is that you crack the headers because the weight is hanging off the back because there's nothing holding on to the H bracket here. But what I found is that the resonance transfers through the chassis if you torque down on this H bracket. And so I prefer it, if I can help it, to not attach anything here. You know, like SharkWorks, GMG, you know, a lot of the center bypasses, they'll just eliminate this connection point here. And but the difference is the side mufflers have a bracket that hold on. So I was wondering, actually the owner at AWE said, you know, the reason why we made this connection was we've seen in the past this crack on some older Porsches. So I don't know, I'll let you know if it cracks, but we're good to this point. Okay, I think we're good to put the reservoir tank bolt back in. It's still dripping a little bit, but I'm impatient. This is 2,000 mile oil, not, you know, Porsche doesn't call for an oil change for like, what is it, 10,000 miles or 7,500 miles or something like that. So new crush washer, brand new bolt. Clean that up. And then this one is to be torqued to 22 or 23 foot-pounds in an 8mm. Dang it, I had a loaded Sonic box with the new black version of the torque wrenches. Miss Yvonne came and bought it from me. There we go. Good. Yeah, I think I could get used to having this workbench here, or whatever you want to call it, rolling table thingy. All right, so let's take this one out. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get a actual. This one, there's not enough clearance. You just need an actual Allen key. So I don't know where I've read this or what. I might be making this up, but these type of bolts are not progressively tightened. They're snap tightened, and so you generally want to just snap it. You don't want to, because as you apply constant force, it tends to bite. I might be making that up, but that's what I read it on like Honda Tech or something back in the day, and so I've kind of stuck with that philosophy. So this should just drip out. Yeah, we're good. I think the crush washers, yeah, shoot. I don't think the crush washer came off. I need to get a flat head. Okay, yeah, good. The crush washer did come off of the other side. 1, 2, I need to get the third one off. So yeah, 718 GT4. Should be here in, my guess is it'll be delayed. It was supposed to be a July delivery, but I don't think we'll have it by then. All right, so I've got no more draining out there. Don't think I can get all 3 of these. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good to change this. Okay, let's see if I can hand loosen. or if I need to go get a tool. Yeah, I need a tool. So this is the OE Porsche made by Hazet tool, which I think is the right size. Yep. And then loosen. Thing is in the way. Yeah, it definitely wasn't loosening that by hand. Uh-oh. Yep, .91. Okay, good. 107, 91.107.203.91. So we're safe. So this is a tool you can get from Porsche. It fits the so this is part number that you need. See it? 000.721.944.30. So it has that 2169. And you need a 27 millimeter for this in order to remove it. A word to the wise, make sure that sometimes the crush washers from the factory don't come off with the bolt, so make sure you're giving a popping that off. So again, here's our filter. 91.107.203.91 Moly filter, OE Porsche. So what I always do, take a little bit of oil, dump it in. I always get a little bit of extra sitting on the top there. That way I can dab my finger on it and prime the gasket. We'll put this thing back in when everything's done doing its thing. To clean everything up here. Just wipe everything in case there was any metal or anything, any shavings. Gosh, the precision of a Porsche is just change your life. You could set it and let it drip forever, but I'm just gonna go. I got stuff to do. It's really be pretty impossible to cross thread this. It's so precise. Other vehicles I've had, you're always worried you're gonna cross thread. You never go back in quite as well. You get a nice, fresh, new nut. So this one I can't get a torque wrench on. I'll just give it a couple of ugga-duggas and call it a day. That's good. Put the main drain bolt back in. The car always feels so much faster and always sounds better after you do an oil change. You know what I'm talking about? After this, I got to pull the Z06 in here. I got some sort of clunking in the back area. I got to figure out. Leave it to a Corvette to clunk. I realize, the Corvette takes me a half an hour to try to take a picture of to find the right angle. This thing, I can take a picture from anywhere. And it looks incredible. All right, so we're gonna go 30 foot-pounds on this one. And this is a 10 millimeter. Yeah, it's just such a joy to work on these cars. When I first got this, I was so afraid, or when I was thinking about getting a Porsche, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to have a budget in order to be able to fix it and work on it and take it to the dealership. And the dealerships get at least my local one gets kind of bent out of shape when I'll go and have them align this after I lower it, and then I'll want them to reset the light, and they're like, well, you need to prove that you changed the oil. I'm like, what happens if the engine blows? Porsche's not going to honor it. I'm like, I have a freaking video showing how I changed the oil. Oh, almost forgot about the, speaking of videos, almost forgot about the oil filter. I'm talking too much. So, anyway. So I always turn it reverse, That way it'll kind of seat properly and then turn it in place. Just look at the oil lines, flanges on the headers. Oh, I just love this thing. God dang it, I love the Porsche. This is why I'm selling all these other cars and just sticking with this. That's why I've considered selling my E92 and just drive these around all day, every day. I'm not sure what the torque spec is on this. I don't have a, you can't fit a ratchet on it, so it really doesn't matter. And so I just kind of go by feel with my very precisely calibrated wrist. And I'm about to drip. So you don't worry about my car, it'll be just fine. A little turn. Again, I'm feeling it out. I'm not leaning into it. You would know if I was leaning into it. I'm just kind of feeling it out. Right there feels good to me. If I put on and taken off, I don't know, somewhere in the hundreds, oil filters. Low hundreds probably. High double digits, low triple digits. And never had a problem. I think we're gonna be safe. All right, let me get some carb cleaner here. I used up all my brake fluid, or brake cleaner. Just use a little bit of this. Keep our pretty looking 2019 Porsche looking pretty. Yeah, buddy. That there is special. That's it. It's an oil change. Let's go, or a drain anyway, draining of the oil. So let's put our plate back on, get the car down, and then put it in the top. Pull out my drain pan before I forget and crush it. Just got to get it started. So projects coming up. Our DSC controller. I might do that. I'm probably going to do that maybe tomorrow. Got a lot of editing to do. Radar detector, which I might do now. It's really easy to do these cars, just to do a hardware down to the fuse box, to add a fuse. I don't know if I have one. I'm going to have to run over to Advance Auto and get one. All right, let's get my lights out of here. This one I used like half the day, so the batteries are actually really good on these. I just hadn't used it yet, or hadn't charged in a while. Bring the car down. Take this free little funnel, fits nicely, little AutoZone funnel. I'm gonna put 6 quarts. Now, I use 5W40. You know, they fill it with OW40. Again, we're not gonna get to minus 15 degrees Celsius or whatever it is. So we don't need the extra weight of OW, or the extra, I guess, freeze point. So we do 5W40 AMSOIL. I'm a bit of an AMSOIL junkie. What I should do, I need to do this, I should have done this in the very beginning, is I should have sourced all of this stuff. You know, all the little parts and pieces that I put in my Porsche, and offered all of this stuff to you, the audience, the viewer, and made it easy for everybody to buy all this stuff when you're maintaining your Porsche. Like, for instance, you know, blend mount, and I might still do that.
hardwire kit, blend mount, radar detector, oil change kit, BMC filters for the previous gen cars, Renline cell phone mount, Renline tow hooks. Oh, that's something I got to get for this, for when I ship the car up to the mountains. Actually, they don't really even use those. Not tow hooks, but yeah, I think I do have a Renline tow hook. But yeah, Renline tow hook. I'm talking about the trailer mounts, the trailer hooks that go underneath the car. What else? Get the stuff from Smoking GTS. Get the, I think his name's Ed, if I remember correctly. Get the stuff from Ed, which the jack pads and the center lock guide, you know, the wheel guide for moving the center lock. Precision Instruments, or actually Sonic makes a giant 3/4 inch torque wrench that'll work for this. I'm talking myself into it. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments. Should I build a Porsche specific, actually Matt Mormon Porsche specific stuff? The Obsessed Garage Mormon recommended stuff you need for your GT3, GT3 RS, GT4. I don't think I'll get rich off of it, but I think it's a service that could help people not have to shop all over the place, try to figure this out. Oh, exhaust. So the Dundon exhaust, AWE exhaust. I might work on that soon. I think that'd be a good idea. It's magical to have this drain tank. I'll show you it in a second here, where I don't have to dump it back into the quarts and then go drop it off somewhere. So again, we're gonna do 6 quarts, and then I'm gonna finally get a reading, and I'll top it off if I have to, because this darn oil filter or oil gauge is useless. Sometimes I'll be driving for hours. So if it's too cold, it won't work. If it's too hot, it won't work. If you drove too fast or too hard, it won't work. If you turn it off too soon after driving, it won't work. And so there's all these contingencies. By the way, one of the things that one of the original fires of the original GT3s was because somebody filled this too quickly, got oil all down the side of the engine. And so I'm always paranoid about this. You know, reading about the first GT3 that went up in flames when they first came out. It's because someone changed the oil and they dumped it all over they dumped this too quickly here. And it went outside the fill tube down the side of the engine, caught on fire and melted the car. That was outside. That was different than the stop sale. And that's how I got my GT3. It was because of the stop sale. A lot of people backed out of their orders because cars were sitting waiting for the fix. Because there was another engine fire issue, but different from the one I was just talking about. And I took a gamble thinking, well, Porsche's not going to let this get screwed up again. And I was right, because these cars have just been fantastic. Just gosh darn bulletproof. Amazing to own, amazing to experience. Not all that expensive. I mean, this oil change cost me what, 150 bucks, something like that. You know, 90 bucks in oil, whatever the oil filter kit is. You know, what is that, 80 bucks, something like that. So less than 200 bucks, and less than, what is it, took me, if I wasn't messing with the camera, I'd have been done with this. As long as it takes to drain, take me less than an hour, 45 minutes to do an oil change. So that's it. Now, one of the problems here is that we can't reset it. I hate that. Let me just go into the darn stock and reset the stupid thing, Porsche. Why do you got to make it so I got to go to a dealer who doesn't know jack? So, I don't want them touching my car and fingering everything. So, anyway, sorry dealers. I love you, dealers. Yeah, so that's an oil change. Done it at literally like 2,002 miles. I would do it at 1,000 if I were you. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Again, 2, 3, 2,500, 2,250, really doesn't matter. But it's probably not a bad idea to dump the factory fill. You know, change it with some AMSOIL, and I'll stick with AMSOIL for the life of the ownership of the car as long as I have it. You know, God willing, I'll get a 99 or 992, and I'll do it much quicker this time, so I won't lose 60 grand again. But we'll see. I should probably put this car up for sale now. I just don't want to. I love this thing. So anyway, thanks for watching, yeah, maybe I'll work on that idea of providing an Obsessed Garage
Porsche solutions page and just give you some Porsche and BMW solutions of just specific parts and things that make it easy for you to shop and understand what, you know, because I bought and tried so much crap for these cars. I mean, I've had 15 exhausts and spent way too much of my life trying to figure this stuff out. So I might be able to help you out with that. And I think that it could certainly help keep me in the garage here messing around with all this cool stuff. So thanks for watching. As always, stay tuned for more crazy. Glad to be back, Porsche buddies. Lots more Porsche stuff coming. Oh, forgot to show you this. Twin Bush TW2097. Don't get this one. I have it in my store. They rarely have them, so you have to order it, and then we kind of wait for them. I wouldn't do the extractor. I've literally never used it, so I'd get the, I think it's like a 2095. I have it in the Obsessed Garage store under the, I think it's under the lifts and garage accessories area. But you're pretty cool for a couple $100. Lots of companies make these things. This one isn't transcendent. It's just, you know, it's cheap and works pretty well. And then the Sonic cart that we use. The Sonic carts I also have in the store. This is the 3-drawer version. It's $650. Pretty stout. They also make one without the drawers. So let me go put all this stuff away. I think I'm going to do the radar detector tonight too. A little bonus footage for you here. If you're new to Obsessed Garage, you haven't seen this yet. But man, Sonic tools. Look at this. The level of organization. Oh man, it's just transcendent. This will change your life. Oh, let me move this down. Get a zero out your torque wrench. Put all this stuff back where it belongs. I'm never missing a part or piece. That's the 12. Yes, I already wiped them off. 8 screwdrivers. Allen's, oh shit, 27, a couple of them missing on the other side, a couple of those. All right, thanks for watching. Sonic Tools, buy them from me, keep me in business.